Hi everyone, Chris Spark here with part 13 in my series on Jesus. Hope you'll check out my website there on the screen and my books of poetry, etc. In the last section, I talked about the concept of faith and what Jesus really meant by that word, and how it's not what the church has since been meaning when they say the word. In this video, I'm going to hop over to India and talk about the long wisdom tradition in the East and how Christ's teachings are echoed there, and how his deeds are echoed there. India. If Christ's teachings are not so much moral commandments as descriptions of how reality works at the deepest levels, it shouldn't surprise us to hear echoes of those teachings everywhere. Nowhere, though, are the echoes louder than in the ancient canyons of Eastern wisdom, particularly in the tradition of yoga. Far more than just twisting the body into various postures, yoga in the broader sense refers to the practice of an ancient, quote, fundamental yet sophisticated science to, quote, activate your inner energies to such a vibrant and exuberant state that your body, mind, and emotions function at their highest peaks, close quote. Christ-like miracles have been attributed to Indian yogis for centuries. Many eyewitnesses, for example, tell stories of the healing, clairvoyant, and other astonishing powers of Bhagawan Nityananda of Ganeshpuri, India, who died in 1961 after a lifetime marked by the simplest living, providing for the local poor, and no interest whatsoever in money or fame. The amazing feats of Eastern masters are often strikingly similar to the well-known ones attributed to Jesus, from directing the weather to walking on water, manifesting food, healing afflictions, seeing the future, being in two places at once, and bringing people back from death. Other stories from India will surprise Western ears while still echoing the more general spirit of Jesus. It is said, for example, that when Nityananda decided to carve 43 caves into a hill as a kind of meditation retreat in the town of Kanhangad, he helped revive the depressed town by hiring local workers to help him. No one, though, could figure out where he was getting the money to pay them. Here's a quote from a book about Nityananda. At the end of the day, when the laborers went to ask for the daily wages, he would point at a stone and say, "Your wages are kept under that stone. Go and take it." Beneath the stones, currency notes would be found. Interestingly, everyone used to get exactly the deserved amount in proportion to the work done by him or her. At times, Nityananda Baba would take the currency notes out from his loincloth to pay his employees. The laborers were surprised. Nityananda, like Jesus, often ran into jealousy, suspicion, and small-mindedness. If those interviewed by Swami Vijayananda are to be believed, some people complained that Nityananda, quote, is constructing caves in the government land without any official consent. He is distributing money to the entire town. What is the source of this money? End quote. A British official named Mr. Gown was summoned. Vijayananda's account is worth quoting at length, both for sheer delight as well as its resonance with the stories in the Gospels. "What is the source of funds for the payment made by you?" inquired Mr. Gown. "From the currency note press," Bhagawan Nityananda replied with a teasing smile. "Currency note press? Where is your currency note press?" questioned Mr. Gown, growing more curious. In the entire world, said Bhagawan. Oh, is that so? Mr. Gown questioned, pointing at a lake nearby. Then it must be in there too, am I right? Yes. Answering with a firm brevity, Bhagawan Nityananda took a plunge in the lake inhabited by dangerous reptiles like snakes and crocodiles. Gown got confused. Within a few seconds, Bhagawan emerged from the lake and threw damp wads of cash in front of Mr. Gown. The skeptical officer, Mr. Gown, packed the currency notes and sent them to the government bank to test if they were genuine or fake. It was proved that the currency notes were indeed genuine and were printed by the government-authorized press. This experience made Mr. Gown an ardent devotee of Bhagawan Nityananda. The above story is but one of too many to list in the chronicles of Indian spiritual masters. Paramahansa Yogananda's classic Autobiography of a Yogi is probably the best-known account, but there are many more. Sometimes such phenomena flicker into official Western awareness. Time magazine reported in its June 1952 issue on Yogananda's ability to control his pulse in each wrist separately and his prediction of the exact moment of his death on stage, officially from a heart attack. Time quotes mortuary director Harry T. Rowe as saying, quote, "No physical disintegration was visible even 20 days after death. His case is unique in our experience." NBC, ABC, and the BBC all reported on studies carried out in a hospital in Ahmedabad, India, that appeared to confirm holy man Prahlad Jani's claim that he didn't eat, drink, or defecate, a claim made by other yogis through the centuries. The CIA has officially declared that remote viewing, seeing things that are beyond conventional eyesight, quote, works with remarkable precision, and that remote viewers, quote, can be used in conjunction with other intelligence sources throughout the DoD intelligence community. Echoing both Eastern yoga masters and claims that Christ taught his disciples to heal, the CIA reported that remote viewing is a skill, quote, inherent to every human to some degree, and, quote, through proper training can be developed to a person's potential. Those Westerners who immerse themselves for extended periods in cultures that cultivate other human potentialities have often recorded experiences that our culture deems crazy. Daniel Everett didn't witness the spirits that his Piraha hosts did in the Amazon jungle, but he was convinced that the Piraha did. Other Westerners do report seeing things they can't explain with their Western brains. Immersed with a group of Bayaka in the Congo, musicologist Louis Sarno witnessed the forest spirits, or Mokundi, dancing with the tribe. During her 14 years living in Tibet, the European Alexandra David Nael encountered several apparitions known as tulpas, and even reported creating one herself. In the context most of us are conditioned by in the West, all these supposed events sound like the sheerest malarkey. Eastern masters emphatically disagree. In the words of Paramahansa Yogananda, a miracle is commonly considered to be an effect or event without law, or beyond law. But all events in our precisely adjusted universe are lawfully wrought and lawfully explicable. The so-called miraculous powers of a great master are a natural accompaniment to his exact understanding of subtle laws that operate in the inner cosmos of consciousness. Jane Roberts said something similar about her experience channeling Seth. Quote, It's as if I'm practicing some precise psychological art, one that is ancient and poorly understood in our culture. So I've been talking quite a bit about sort of crazy, miraculous, supernatural, inexplicable phenomenon. And in the next video, I'm going to talk about how that's not really the point. Really, the point is living a fulfilling and meaningful life. It's not about performing miracles. So I'm going to talk about how performing miracles, whether it's by Jesus or an Indian master, is sort of integrated into or even irrelevant to spiritual living and wisdom. And I'll have a link to that video at the end of this video, just as soon as I'm done with it. Also, if you're skeptical of all this, quote, hocus pocus, and you have an open mind, I invite you to check out my book, The Science Spell. There's tons of context for our Western intellectual viewpoint. There's tons of examples with citations and sources. And I hope I wrote it in a way that's also entertaining. And there's a link to that book down below in the description. Also, at the end of this video, when I'm done with it, I'll put a link to another video about science and the supernatural, and maybe a link below and all that good stuff. Thanks for listening. Please leave comments, like the video, and subscribe to my channel if this is of interest to you. I hate saying that stuff.